What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Phoenix, and this is going to be your daily astrology reading for Hump Day, Wednesday, November 13th of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Trusting you guys are having a wonderful week so far. Let's go ahead and hop into today's video to see what we have going on, what the planet, the stars, the celestial bodies are doing. Well, we do have that moon in Aries today. It is going to conjunct Chiron here at 19 degrees and join up with the sextile over to Jupiter. Of course, like I said, this moon in Aries, we're reacting and responding more in an Aries-like fashion, a little bit more impulsive, wearing our emotions on our sleeve, if you will, and on our face. It's going to be harder. It's always harder to hide your emotions when the moon is in Aries because Aries does rule the head. So, if you're trying to hide your emotions, stuff like that, your face is going to be very, very loud. Especially, of course, here with the Chiron as well. Chiron definitely does deal with, a lot of our insecurities, our wounds, our traumas, if you will. And with the moon here, making that sextile over to Jupiter, it can open up an opportunity for new information. But if we're a little reject to that information, this can be a moment too. I feel like whenever the moon comes into Aries, blemishes may come up too. So like random pimples and stuff like that may come up on the face. Maybe even headaches, especially here with that Chiron. If we're thinking too much or if we're overly attaching ourselves emotionally to our identity, then we can, maybe give ourselves a bit of a headache, or we have, like I said, those blemishes that may pop up on our face. That can kind of happen from a more physical standpoint. Of course, we do have the sun here at 21 degrees of Scorpio for a good bit of the day. It's not going to make any major aspects on this day, except for the fact that we are going to see that moon hit 21 degrees today and make the quincunx over to the sun. So the quincunx, of course, I call that the awkward stare from across the room, 150-degree angle. So it's interesting too because it's in the sign ruled by Mars. Mars is a traditional ruler of Scorpio too, so it's like you got to think Sun, Scorpio. This is of course where a lot of the focus is as far as like our spirit and the light and our creativity and where God's kind of pointing to as far as being more Scorpio like, if you will, feeling things on a deeper level, especially here in the decan ruled by the moon. This is going to be I would say this is going to be a pretty intense quincunx. I'm not going to lie, especially here at 21 degrees. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is Jupiter energy. So, the moon just finished sextiling over Jupiter. What does all that mean, though? Well, it could definitely, like I said, emotions I think can feel a little bit complicated. I think, sometimes we look at things on the surface level and we can't really see the deeper meaning to things or the deeper aspects of things, or maybe we don't understand the deeper meaning to things or the deeper aspects of things. I think this is going to be one of those days where it's like, don't try to, I guess, bring any of these preconceived notions or these preconceived ideas or philosophies into situations. I think we need to approach things from a little bit more of an emergent way, and by that I mean kind of approach things from more of a place of, learning, of the excitement that a child may have when they're learning something new, the excitement, the wondering. And this part I'm mostly kind of just channeling because, and like inherently kind of looking at this chart here, it doesn't necessarily, ring this energy of kind of bringing things with like this kind of like wonderment in our eyes or this sort of like childlike innocence. But I do get the feeling like this is thing where it's like, getting excited, I guess, about these different aspects of our reality that may definitely, like, they may require a little bit more investigation. They may require us to go a little bit deeper. And, maybe these things seem scary at first, or maybe these things, we have like this preconceived notion of what it's going to be or how, things are going to turn out. I think as this moon, continues throughout Aries on this day, we're not going to really see it make a ton more aspects outside of that. We will see it square over to Pluto, but that's going to be like right at the tail end of the day. And this is going to be the last time that we see the moon in Aries square Pluto in Capricorn, right? So, because the next time that the moon comes around to the spot, Capricorn is going to be in Aquarius, where it will be there for the next 20 years, right? So, we are at the end of a lot of different cycles. We are coming into a rather auspicious time, or it already does feel auspicious, where we're trying to look into the future. We're trying to look in to see what's going to come, and it's kind of hard to see what's going to come. Now, granted, the world has been through a Pluto Aquarius before many times. The world has been through a Uranus and Gemini, right? The world has been through a Neptune and Aries, right? But it's been a while since these planets have been in these spots, especially some of the more outer planets like Pluto and Neptune. It's been a while, right? And of course, a lot has happened since then. There's new technological advances, new ideas, new philosophies have popped up, So, like I said, I think this is one of those days, and this honestly, just generally this whole week, we got to, of course, remind ourselves that Mars is moving fast, but not really. It's actually moving slow. Mercury is moving fast, but not really. It's moving about a minute. It's moving about a degree a day and some change when it can move as fast as 2 degrees a day. So Mercury's not really moving that fast. Mars is moving rather slow in Leo when that would be like some nice firepower that we normally would have, but it's not giving us all the juice that we needed to because it's got to retrograde back into Cancer, right? So we are in a time where things feel a little bit more uncomfortable. We are in a time where if the answers that we seek, the answers that we want, we may have to kind of dig a little bit deeper and kind of go below the surface to see the source of why something is the way it is. This is also about learning from our past, learning from our mistakes, learning from, how we acted before, Are we able to accept the responsibility? Are we able to look in the mirror and see where we may need to make some sort of changes so we can, live the life that we want, create the life that we want? Or are we going to just, overly identify, like I said, with that moon Chiron that starts the day off? Are we going to overly identify with this aspect and make it our entire identity? And I think that's the dangerous part of this. So it's about seeing the scars, and it's about seeing those things and seeing them as a lesson and not using it as, a currency. It's like I said, it's like it's like I felt like some people want to keep the wounds fresh all the time instead of actually allowing things to heal. And I think that's really what it comes down to. It's like, are we actually going to allow ourselves to heal from the past and heal from these things? Are we going to just continue to let them fester and to continue to grow and, rot? And because I'm literally getting this image in my head of a scar or a wound that someone keeps trying to reopen, and then it becomes infected, and then if you just keep going at it and you don't actually let the wound heal, and the infection may spread, and then you may lose an arm or you may lose a leg or something like that, and then you're really going to be in trouble, right? So this is about taking those smaller things, especially those smaller losses, those smaller hits, those smaller wounds. Not that they're not important, but it's about not allowing those things to become an actual problem, right? So and that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. Like I said, that moon's going to be finishing up here in Aries, and it will, like I said, it's going to square, Pluto, but it's going to be more going into Thursday. It's like at the tail end of the day. So if you're on the West Coast, you'll feel this like at the right end part of your day if you happen to be awake and stuff like that. Other than that, that's pretty much what I have for you guys as far as the astrology goes. Now, card-wise, interesting, I do have the death card here too. So, this isn't a bad thing. I think this is about putting things to rest that need to finally be put to rest. And being okay with, the transformation. I'll draw another card just because I know how people usually feel about the death card, but, I do have also the Four of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this isn't about being lethargic. This isn't about just waiting for something to, happen. This isn't about just sitting under the tree and being like, oh, what is life? What's the point? Blah, 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 blah. This is about going and taking life by the horns and actually doing something. We gotta, instead of being afraid of the ram, we gotta actually grab the ram by the horns and ride that ram into the future. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what this comes down to. I don't think we need to be afraid of the transformation. I don't think we need to be afraid of what's beyond this curtain. There's that skeleton, and I feel like that's kind of where people are right now. There's like this great big curtain that's obscuring the future, and there's this sort of projection of this skeleton or this death or this transformation, and we're so worried by it. But this curtain's going to get pulled back, and I think we don't have to be as afraid of what's behind the curtain than we are making ourselves to feel to be. It's probably actually going to be the thing that liberates us. But that's going to do it for your daily astrology reading for this Wednesday. I trust that this message will assist you on your journey today. If you did enjoy this, please like, share, and subscribe. I definitely appreciate it. But y'all take care. Stay blessed, beloved. Have a wonderful day. And I will see you all on the next video. Peace.